That's a small wheel. I say, Chad, I've seen bigger heals in my time. My spiritual weapon's on the other side of the force field! Are you serious? It can't get to us! Ah! Come on! Ah! What? Sorakath counters Wall of Fire. Oh, well, just F me then. That was like my last spell. Dang it. I knew there was a risk of getting hit there, but I wanted to reposition. Oh my god, both the assassins are swinging it back. Sure would have been nice if there was a wall of fire there. Oh my god, there's an A-bomb in the back. Bonk! Wait, isn't this the dude that was like the boss guy? Hey, Jesus, what's up? Ah! Preserve life again. Tiny heal. Can't use the spiritual weapon. Legendary action. Fuck you, legendary action. Oh my god, it's Godzilla. I don't have any more firewalls. Alright, this is a bit of a weaker spell, but... Now bonk this dude in the head. Oh! Clam might be too close to it, but it is what it is. My monk just burned himself! I am a smart man! Well, I tried the firewall first. This is what I had. Ow. Ow. New contenders. What? Ah, more crap just came out of the portal. This had seriously better be survive X turns. Are you done with Guild Wars for this stream? Yes. Clam! Get back here, you're the tank! Oh my god. Chat is downstate and bleeding profusely. Oh my god. Please just end it. Please just end it. Two. Oh, a new arrival. Welcome, new arrival. Hello. I'm shape-shifting just to get some temporary bonus health. He's a bear now. Ah, there's more. Yeah, you hug that fireball, dummy. Don't you hit me. Forget drop out of Hydralus school. Two more just to... No! Chat's about to die. Dude, Clam is taking so many while running in fear. This man is drawing all their attention while he is just running away going, oh, oh, oh! And they're all just like, yeah, get that lady. The panic. He's like climbing the wall. He's like, F this, I'm out. He just starts scaling a wall. You know, I'm hoping that this is one of the, like, I've already said that this is, I'm hoping this is a survive X terms type of thing. But if it's like, have one person live long enough, this guy running to the other end of the earth might actually help. Fuck is dying. Hello, I came from YouTube videos ago where Sue super helpful with entertaining content. Blue Yordle. 1, I love your name because Yordles are very similar to his name. 2, nice to meet you. Thank you for stopping by. I'm glad you like my stuff. We actually played Guild Wars 2 just a little while ago, but I'm trying to finish this other game I've been working on. This is the final boss fight. Oh god, another flying one. They just keep coming. Yeah. Oh god, lasers. Does she have any potions? Yeah. 8! Oh my god. Somehow, this dude moved in such a way, he entered the bubble, left it, and re-entered the bubble, so he took the damage twice. Final boss fight or final fight? I don't know. Oh, wait, I totally forgot. I needed Noxie to actually heal chat so he doesn't bleed to death, but... Oh, I don't know. Please, God. Yeah, punch his kneecap, Muck. Punch him in the knee. Muck and Noxie have to have an empty hand to fire spells, so they punch.
I was right about you. I must go now. Take care of Solasta. Take care of your world.
Oh, there's a bunch of dragons there. Did you see that?
And it was done. Never again would so many gods unite their forces to create a passage through the worlds. Solasta would remain on Tiamat until the end of times. But his children of darkness had set foot on Solasta and planted the seeds of evil.
Oh.
Deeper than anyone could have imagined.
So there's still a bunch of shape-shifting lizard people in the government. Kind of like ours. Zuckerberg, please, I love your work. Chat, I could make an entire episode of Bug Wars with just the last 45 minutes. Are you kidding me? Don't think I won't do it. That was so rough. Dude, when it was like, you lose, you win, cutscene, take a turn. Ah, you lose again. It's like, what? And when you like look at the combat log and Muck died from falling because it unbirded him against my will. And seeing that last level up really stung because I didn't get to actually do it. Final thoughts. All right. If you like D&D or D&D-like games, Pathfinder, Divinity Original Sin, other similar titles, you would probably enjoy this game, but not quite as much as those games if you're like me. However, the boss fights, the game, it's like, you know, if like this is 0 and this is 10, and the game's like here, the boss fights go, and then when the boss fight's over, it goes back to being a good game. Dude, they're mucking cheaters. I have never before played a 5th edition game, and I gotta say, it will be difficult for someone to convince me to ever do that again. What makes them not as good as other games? Okay, so if we just take the boss fight bullcrap and set that aside, this game does a very, very poor job of explaining. Like, I have played Pathfinder pen and paper and D&D 3.5 pen and paper for years, but I didn't know 5th edition rules. But I was like, I'm a veteran, I could figure this out. I struggled. And if it wasn't for the fact that I was streaming and people in chat were explaining to me, like, oh, if you open the minimap and click on a little arrow, there's a thing that comes up, and then you hit yes to that, you could do a quick travel. Okay, you know, I didn't know that. You know, like, it doesn't tell you that anywhere. There were certain spells, a couple of them, that didn't have any tooltips information at all. Pillar of Light didn't tell you the damage radius. Lightning Storm didn't tell you how much damage it did at all. Summon Monster didn't tell you what it summoned. I learned through process of trial and error exactly what it did, but there was a handful, not all, but there was a handful of tooltips that did not give like any information at all. I never figured out crafting. It said you need to have a Manacalon Rosary to do crafting. When I got one, it said none of your party members can use this. So was I cursed from character creation that just because of how I made my characters, I could never craft? Or was there a way to learn how to do it? Or could I have paid an NPC to do it? I was never able to find any of those things. So I literally went through the whole game carrying a mountain of crafting materials and was never able to make anything. So I probably could have done that final boss fight with some like really good magical equipment or something, but I didn't, which made it more difficult. Were the boss fights too complicated? So the boss fights had legendary actions, which I now understand, but the game never explains it. The game never explains legendary actions. It never explains legendary resistances. Like the first 3 legendary bosses were vampires, and they were made significantly easier by basically lighting the room up. I was wiping on the first one for like 30 minutes before someone in chat told me that. That's what you beat the game without crafting, which means it's not really relevant. Yeah, I would have enjoyed it. Legendary fights can go suck on a or toe. Wow. So, were the boss fights too complicated? I mean, it was kind of simple. Boss just hits really hard and takes a turn every time one of your people takes a turn. Instead of like, you know, your whole team takes a turn, then his team takes a turn. It was like, you take one, you know, your thief takes one, he takes one. Your fighter takes one, he takes one. Your cleric takes one, he takes one. But what made it extra bullcrap was like, if the boss was in a wall of fire and he took a legendary turn, he would not take damage from the wall of fire because it wasn't actually his turn, and he would just move out of it and not get punished at all. So those mechanics made it very frustrating. As hidden mechanics that helped the combat, what we're not explaining right. There were many mechanics that were not well explained, yeah. The resting system could have been better. For example, you had to find a campfire to rest. And I get why they did that. They didn't want you to spam rest between every battle. However, the result was that there was one point I was in a spot where I could not beat the next fight, and could not rest because there wasn't a campfire in the area that I had found. So I had to go on the world map, travel to a place that I didn't need to go to just to trigger a rest during travel, and then come back. So I spent like 4 days traveling, because you can't cancel travel either. Once you start traveling, you're committed. So I had to spend like 2 days there, 2 days back, just to rest for 8 hours, because I had no other way of triggering a rest break. So that was only a massive issue one time, but it was annoying when that happened. The legendary actions the boss were doing were scuffed. They were doing multiple things for legendary action. It should be attack or move. It was doing both. Oh, was it? Dude, I swear it was like attack, move. Sometimes it would like do 3 attacks and stuff like that. 3 legendary actions against 4 people. Yeah, plus his normal action. Basically, the boss got to go 4 times and was immune to environmentals for 3 of them. Why did the bike fall? I don't know. The story was not really a selling point as well. I was okay with the story up until the part where, like, at the beginning of the story, the crown got stuck on Mukluk. And when he took it off, he was like, oh, and he passed out. They're like, oh God, it's attuned to him. And they put it back on so that he didn't die. And he was out of it for like 3 days. And then near the end, they're like, oh yeah, the council's decided to take the crown. We'll help with the attunement issue. I'm like, wait, you can suddenly solve that? And they take it off. And it felt kind of like a plot hole because of how they had done it earlier. And then later on, they're talking to him. He's like, yeah, I could still feel the location of the crown. It's like pulling at me. And the guy's like, oh, wow. So you're still attuned even at this distance? And it's like, well, did you or did you not break the attunement? He was too tired. Wow, Ashland. So that was the only glaring plot hole. I will say, the ending, you need to stop him, and they're like, let me restart this sentence. This had the best excuse I've ever seen for why your overpowered allies can't help with the final boss fight. Truly, it truly did. Like, we were going to the final boss, and you're like, what about the knights? And she's like, they're holding off the attackers on the edge of the city. They can't come through. And you're like, what about you? You're a dragon. She's like, we die in minutes in the Badlands. And lo and behold, later on, a golden black dragon came to help me, and they were like 40% health when they got there. So she's like, I cannot go there. And and then there was like, what about the clerics? And she's like, the clerics are exhausted from casting resurrection spells all day because someone killed 30 of our, delegates yesterday with poison. And then they spent all night resurrecting them. And then they turned out to be sleeper agents and attacked. And so then I had to kill the people we just rezzed. So it's like they had really good reasons for why all these people could not assist us with the big battle at the end. Has the bouncy stress leg going? No, that's just, that's standard, Muck. It's always bouncy leg. How many cold ones keep you going? No, Jackals, I'm fine. I've only been awake a few hours. I'm good. So, yeah. It was a good game. It was a good game. If I had the opportunity to talk to the people who made the game, I would point out all the places that need tooltips. That would be a huge step up for this game. Like, hey, this spell doesn't say its damage, this spell doesn't say its radius, this spell doesn't say what it summons, you never explain fast travel at all. You know what, the resting thing? Keep the resting thing, that's fine. Legendary actions. The first time you encounter a creature with legendary actions, have a tutorial pop up and explain it. And you might want to nerf it a little bit, but that's my opinion. So just full disclosure on how, and crafting, I never figured that out. Full disclosure on how things work in the game would be a massive step up for it. And that would alleviate a lot of the frustrations I had. Now, I don't agree with the legendary action system, but if you at least explain it, that would be helpful. Fix your UI so it's not bloody base to save your game, for example. Need more polish. Yeah, needed more polish, exactly. But it was a pretty good game.